Back again with another one, y'all. Bad News Brown breaking it down. So in this episode of Crime and Punishment, so it looks like they finally caught up with Derrick Groves, y'all. And y'all remember Derrick Groves, who was part of that escape. What was it, about 9 or 10 different cats escaped from the New Orleans Parish County Jail a while back. And he was the last man standing. See, keep in mind, they had caught a few of them right off the bat. Then later a few more. And then there was 2 left, which was Derrick Groves and Antoine Massey. And then they finally caught up with Antoine Massey a little while ago. And old D. Groves was the last man standing. And he held out for a little while longer, and you can tell by the expression on his face, it was a good run. It was good while it lasted. And they can't take that away from him. Now, I'm not advocating criminality or escaping from jail, but it is what it is. So let's talk about it. So according to the report here, 10 inmates who escaped from the Orleans Parish Justice Center in May was captured on Wednesday in southwest Atlanta after a brief standoff, according to Orleans Parish Sheriff. Derrick Groves' arrest marks the end of a months-long multi-agency manhunt that began after he and 9 other inmates escaped from the Orleans Parish facility on May 16, 2025. Groves was taken into custody at a home on Honeysuckle Lane following a coordinated operation involving Crime Stoppers Greater New Orleans, U.S. Marshals, FBI, Homeland Security, Louisiana State Police, New Orleans Police, and Atlanta PD and other agencies. So they was after him. Officials with the U.S. Marshal's Office in Louisiana told CBS News that they had received a tip through Crime Stoppers that pointed them to Metro Atlanta. The nonprofit organization received several hundred tips on Groves over the past months, and they were all vetted. President of Crime Stoppers of the Greater New Orleans area, Darlene Kusanza, said at a news conference Wednesday. After a SWAT team deployed a number of gas canisters, law enforcement agencies found Groves in a crawl space of a home, a spokesperson said, and he was taken into custody without incident. So there we have it. And then it also follows, he says, it's quoted that he said, I guess they're taking me to jail, he said during his arrest. And again, you see by the expression on his face, it was a good run, fun while it lasted. So, to add on to this, y'all, well, for one, I forget what the exact reward amount was, but it was something. And, of course, when you a fugitive at large, you got to keep in mind, people want that money, and as time go on, that reward is still active. So whenever somebody recognize you, no matter who they is, it's a good chance they gonna call them authorities, straight up. Because I remember when they caught Antoine Massey, and I posted a video, I suggest you go watch it, and I had mentioned as far as how likely it is a fugitive was to stay on the lam depending on resources and etc. So now in the case of Derrick Groves, because they caught Antoine Massey in New Orleans, and they caught O.D. Groves, he wasn't too far. I mean, he was in ATL, he was still in the U.S., he was still in the South, and I'm not sure regardless of the resources he had. But another thing I want to point out was that according to the report, he was facing 2 hot ones. So I think that was more the reason he was a little bit more cautious than the others. Because I'm not sure if the other ones was fighting. I mean, they all had charges, but them two hot ones appear to be the heaviest. I don't think Massey was fighting no hot ones. He had other charges, but it wasn't one of them. So I'm sure that had something to do with why Groves lasted as long as he did and why he kept it so low, even when Massey was posting videos, on IG or whatnot. And I mentioned this in a prior video, if Groves was going to take the same method, and also mentioned he may just stand by and wait and see what happened with Massey. And I'm sure that's probably what he did. And when Massey got wrapped up, he probably was like, yeah, let me really keep it tucked. And that's probably what he ended up doing until eventually he got wrapped up. So, but y'all let me know what y'all think, though, man. But it what officially what he lasted over 100 something days. Now I wonder how. Now that obviously ain't the longest somebody was on the lam. We know what's the Whitey, he lasted for hella long, and a few others. But that is quite a run. Again, see the expression on his face, and he out of all of them, he might get an interview, a Vlad interview, a TMZ. They might come to the jail and interview his ass, just to get what his feeling was when Massey got wrapped up and etc. etc. Or he may not. But again, it's over with for him. So they about to extradite him, of course. And again, depending on this case, of course, we don't know the details, if he did it or not. But he got a long road, a long fight regardless. So, but they can't take that from him. And again, I'm not pro-criminal. I don't know none of these people personally. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. This Bad News Brown breaking it down.